I have to thank him for accepting very immediately over the phone call. I think I had experience only 2 times, met in the council meetings, one in Hosur, another one is in, I think, Nepal. So 2 times only I met him. So though I spent very few minutes or maybe less than 30 minutes with the Karnataka State Center Chairman, but he immediately accepted for coming over Royal Charter Day. But I was thinking that who will be the right person for giving the lecture on Royal Charter Day. I browsed, I found that he is a fighter. He is fighter for he's a fighter for claiming rights for engineers. So I think he will explain during his delivery of speech also. So I assume that. So he is only the right person for giving the speech or deliver the lecture during the Charter Day. So before going to the Royal Charter Day delivery by Mr. Engineer Nagarajan, I will briefly explain about what is Royal Charter Day. Everybody knows about that. Anyway, once again, I briefly explain as a chairman of State Center, Tamil Nadu. The Institution of Engineers was initially incorporated under the provisions of the Indian Companies Act 1913, but later the Institution Engineers was incorporated by Royal Charter on September 9, 1935. So that is why the Institution of Engineers always celebrating the Royal Charter Day on September 9. But somehow it is delayed in Tamil Nadu. The Royal Charter on September 9, 1935 by King and Emperor Charles V at the court, Buckingham Palace. I visited Buckingham Palace, but only in the outside. From the outside, I visited the Buckingham Palace, London, and remains only the professional body in India to be accorded this honor. This endowed the corporate members of the institution with the right to use the title Chartered Engineer. So that is why we are saying that we are a Chartered Engineer after their names, implying that qualified engineers deemed worthy to hold a charter. So this is the brief description about the Royal Charter Day. And recently, I gone through the papers. The Karnataka State Assembly, State Legislative Assembly passed the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Bill 2024 to allow only the registered engineers to approve the building plans, ensuring that they will be accountable for any eventualities. So even though we are chartered engineers, then we have to register in the respective regional government to enroll ourselves for approving the plan. I think this kind of bill, I think it is not available in Tamil Nadu. Anyway, we have to verify. So on this day, the Charter Day, now I am very, very happy to welcome Engineer Nagaraj, the Karnataka State Center Chairman IEI, and our Honorary Secretary, and all the esteemed members who have joined here to know very detail about the Royal Charter Day, as well as the speech will be given by our chief guest. And once again, I welcome all the members, the council members, committee members, fellow engineers, and secretary. And also, I pay my respect and regards to Engineer Nagaraj, the State Center Chairman, Karnataka IEI, for immediately accepting to deliver a speech on Royal Charter Day. Thank you very much for coming on board, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, for extending welcome for myself. And at the outset, I would like to introduce myself once again. I am Nagaraj, served the Karnataka Public Works Department for 37 years. I retired about 12 years back. I am now 72 years old, young man, fighting for the benefits of the engineering community for the last 40 years in various capacities. Right? So today...
Sir, good evening, sir. I will introduce formally to the group of elite members, sir, myself, Loganathan. So that task assigned to me, so burden me for the interruption. So respected Chairman, Dr. V. Karthikeyan, Chairman, Tamil Nadu State Center of Institution of Engineer, and today's Chief Guest Engineer M. Nagaraj, Chairman, Karnataka State Center, and I am happy to introduce to the our group of engineers today joined. So here, Engineer M. Nagaraj has been a vast experience in the field of civil engineering. So he has been born during the year 1952 and graduated in the Mysore University in BE and obtained a Master of Engineering in the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, a notable institution in our India, and he got MBA in Bangalore University during 1983. So Sir has held many posts. So initially he started his career as Faculty of Civil Engineering in Karnataka Engineering College. So that that is the present NITT, Surathkal, Karnataka. It's a renowned institute. And from there, he has joined as engineer in Public Works Department, Karnataka State, from the year 1976. And then served 36 years of engineering services and retired during the year 2012. So after retirement, Sar has taken an important post as a project coordinator at the Sri Jayadev Institute of Cardiology Complex, Mysore. Then currently he is practicing as a renowned chartered civil engineer, and he has experienced more than 4 decades and in charge of very notable projects during his tenure in the Karnataka state in the Public Works Department. And his experience include many constructions of the government buildings, including the Institute of Animal Health and Biological Building at Bangalore. So it's a notable, very important institute. Then he is in charge of Quality Control Division for 5.5 years, inspecting all the roads, bridges, and buildings which were undertaken by the Karnataka Public Works Department, and also in charge of the Vikas Saudha building adjacent to the Vidhan Saudhan building, Bangalore, for 5.5 years. And as a project coordinator for the construction of Sri Jayadev Institute of Cardiology Hospital Complex at Mysore for the year 2014 to 2017. So, and Engineer Nagaraj has professional membership in many technical institutions, especially in member technical committee, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science, member in the Institution of Engineers from 1975 onwards, then member Indian Road Congress, member Indian Building Congress, then Indian Concrete Institute member, then Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, and currently Sir is the chairman of Karnataka Engineers Association, and finally many posts he has held during his tenure in the Institution of Engineers. Finally achieved the chairman IEI Karnataka State Center currently. Then he has visited many countries including USA, Canada, France, Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. And he has attended more than 30 training programs in the All India and as well as the state level. So having the vast experience of the field of civil engineering, he has contributed many for the development of the construction projects in Karnataka. So we are very delighted to have very experienced engineer with us for the important day on the Royal Charter Day. So I'm happy to introduce him before the members. Thank you, Chairman Sir, Dr. Karthikeyan Sir, for giving me the opportunity. So welcome, sir. Welcome, Engineer Nagaraj, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for giving the formal introduction. But everything he read it, only one thing is missed. One court judgment. It was happened on the year 2012. I think he read it, not read it. You fight for claiming the right for AME engineers also. Anyway, thank you very much. Yes, now the board is for yours, platform is yours. And after your delivery of lecture, we will have a 5 to 7 minutes question and answer session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Loganathan. Thanks for everybody. And belated wishes for the Engineers Day, though it is 2 days late, but still I would like to wish everybody an Engineers Day. And this program, as already Chairman has put it, I was not prepared for this because I had some other programs continuously. For the first time, our Karthikeyan Saab called me surprisingly, and without thinking twice, I simply said, okay, fine. The second thing is, sir, this particular subject is a very odd subject for me because this is about Royal Chapter. I don't mind talking in civil engineering subjects for hours together. But for this Royal Charter, I went through, I think that today the whole day I spent in the institute some time, and I just call out all the information in regard to the Royal Chapter. Sir, first and foremost thing is probably all the corporate members who are now online may be knowing what is Royal Charter. So I would like to just explain the dictionary meaning of the Royal Charter, and I will show some slides. I hope all the members can see.
Yeah, it's visible, sir. Visible, clearly
fine,
visible, sir.
fine.
Yeah.
Sir, the very dictionary meaning of Royal Charter is just a written grant of rights given by the legislature or the sovereign for creation of an institution like university or like our institution, right? That is the meaning of the Oxford Dictionary. And in the UK, Royal Charter is a formal grant issued by the monarch under the royal prerogative as letters patent. I think you all know this, but still I would like to explain this. Many of our members have not gone into these details. And every time they keep on telling our Institute of Engineers is a Royal Charter, Royal Charter, Royal Charter. But what it means and where we are placed, what is the significance of Royal Charter, need to be known by all the members. So now, the Royal Charter granted to IEI by King George V, the King of England and Emperor of India on 9th September 1935. The charter specifically declares IEA to be a body corporate having perpetual succession. High courts of Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, and Allahabad were established under letters patent and even today known as the Royal Chartered High Courts. This is just only an information, nothing to do with our institution. Universities of Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta were also established by Royal Charter during British rule. IEA, which was incorporated under the Indian Companies Act 1913 in 1920. And in 1995, when IEA was incorporated by the Royal Charter, it ceased to be a company and its name was struck off with a Gazette notification dated May 6, 1961. After independence, what is the position of this Royal Charter is a very important thing that every corporate member should know. The first law commission headed by M.C. Settlewatt, Attorney General of India then, in its fifth report on British statutes applicable to India dated May 11, 1957, opined that Charter is a law in force in the territory of India on the date of commencement of the Indian Constitution. He also opined a written instrument containing a grant by the Crown in the form of letter patent as the effect and the authority of an act of parliament, and repeal is only possible under an act of parliament. So the legal opinions about this. A constitution bench of the Supreme Court in 1960 held that application of existing laws is not conditioned by the formal making of adaptations or modifications in that law by the President. Article 372 of our Indian Constitution says very clearly, all the laws in force in the territory of India immediately before the commencement of this Constitution shall continue in force there until altered or replaced or amended by competent legislature or the other competent authorities. So the Article 225 also need to be read with Article 372. Jurisdiction of existing High Court shall be the same as immediately before the commencement of this Constitution. So under this Article 372 read with Article 222, we are Royal Charter even today. This is the opinion given by Mr. Settlewatt in 1959. Thereafter, what has happened in Calcutta High Court, the matter one in regard to letters patent was discussed before Justice K.J. Sengupta, who said within meaning of Article 372 read with Article 225 of the Constitution. So this is in force. Royal Charter is in force. It cannot be struck down as ultra vires the preamble of the Constitution. So while disposing of the civil petition, civil appeal number 17922 of 2017 of the Constitution of Mechanical Engineers versus State of Punjab, Justice Umesh Lalit earlier he was Chief Justice of India, now he is retired, on 13th August 2019 held that the membership of such institutes cannot be equated. Such institute means what? There was a case before the Supreme Court in respect of the Institute of Mechanical Engineers versus Government of India. And in that case, the court observed all those institutions were registered under Society Act, whereas ours is a statute and covered under the Royal Charter. So therefore, the membership of such institutes, that is the Institute of Engineers, Mechanical Engineers and other such organizations, cannot be treated as equivalent to a degree, as the candidate qualified from such institute cannot be said to be on par with the members of the Institute of Engineers established under the statute. And you know very well, even there is an Architects Act 20 of 1972, Government of India has clearly stated that the Institute of Engineers means the Institute of Engineers first registered in 1920 and subsequently incorporated by a royal charter. IEA finds mention in the All India Council of Technical Education Act 1987 also. In the category of institutions of national importance under technical education wide item 19, IEA is included along with other institutions like All India Council of Technical Education and others. In the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, in regard to the letters patent appeal so and so, Honorable Judges G.B. Bhatt and B.K. Chaturvedi have held that the contention that the letter patent is no longer operative, as therefore there is no force in their argument. So again, Article 372 of the Constitution has been answered by the Constitution bench in Supreme Court in M.G. Desai versus State of Bombay, to the effect that application of existing laws is not conditioned by the formal making of adaptations or modifications in that law by the President. The above judicial pronouncement clearly indicate that the Royal Charter still in force without being affected, as it has neither been repealed nor altered or amended till today. So IEA is a body corporate. IEA is a body corporate and finds mention in post-independent legislations like the Architect Act, ACT Act, everywhere. Indian judicial institution like India, like High Courts of Calcutta, Mumbai, Chennai and Allahabad were established under letters patent, and even today known as Chartered High Courts. Madras, Bombay and Calcutta universities were also established by Royal Charter. So the role of IEA now. Article 372 of the institution provided for bringing provisions of British statutes into accord with the provisions of the Constitution by an order of the President of India within 3 years from the commencement of the Constitution. Actually, there is a provision in Article 372 of the Constitution which came into effect after 1950. They have made this, whatever the British statutes are there, British rules are there, that need to be changed into Indian statutes according to the Indian Constitution within 3 years. But unfortunately, IEA did not take advantage of this provision. However, the competent authority to validate the Royal Charter continues to be by the Parliament only. Even today, if anything is to be done, only the Parliament can do and no else can do anything. IEA should move the Government of India to replace the Royal Charter with the corresponding Indian law in the form of the Institution of Engineers Act, incorporating all the provisions of the Royal Charter and in terms of the First Law Commission. See, what is exactly happening is, though we claim to be covered under Royal Chapter and it is only the one professional body in the country, none other professional. Today there are umpteen number of professional associations, everybody knows. But unfortunately, all those associations are registered under Societies Act. They don't come under this Corporate Act or under the Royal Charter. But unfortunately, earlier, some of the engineers wanted this engineer bill has to be brought in so that all the actions can be taken and all the engineers can be protected under the engineers bill. So when the engineers bill comes into picture, then automatically our Royal Charter will have no force. So therefore, Government of India as itself, while formulating the architect, again repeat, yeah, as clearly stated that the Institute of Engineers first registered in 1920 and subsequently incorporated by a royal charter. Repeated, sorry. Engineers Bill is not of a recent origin. Efforts were made during 1958-59. Government, in fact, put up a draft bill after K.L. Rao, the former Union Minister and then President of IEA, clarified the matter to Government of India, and the Government of India withdrew the proposal for introduction of such bill in those days. In 1991, the Association of Consulting Engineers approached the Ministry of HRD to pilot a bill, and HRD did not take any action for quite some time. In 1996, the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers filed a public interest litigation in Delhi High Court against the HRD minister. In 1990, the Institute of Engineers filed an impleading application stating that Engineers Bill was not required because by virtue of their royal charter, IEA was competent and equipped to register the profession. In 2000, the PAL was dismissed by the High Court. The Engineers Council of India, which was formed in 2001 as an association of small associates, began to play a game for bringing up the revised bill and requested the HRD minister to sponsor the bill. Shri S.K. Tripathi, the then Secretary, Ministry of Human Resource Development, in his letter dated 4th June 2003, to Shri L.M. Mehta, Secretary, wrote ECI is neither recognized by Ministry or by All India Council of Technical Education, and it is not a statutory body. Hence, there is no locus standi in respect of the registration of engineers to Engineering Council of India. So during 2010, ECA stepped up its efforts again. In fact, IEA participated in the discussion. However, some council members explained the danger of Engineers Bill. So this discussion took place in 2010. And what were that discussions is possibility of withdrawing from the working group on drafters bill headed by Shri R.V. Shah and pursue independently with Government of India to adopt Royal Charter. During the council meeting held at Kodaikanal, when presentation made by our Secretary and Director General IEA regarding the Engineers Bill 2019, some council member opposed the bill and informed that passing of the bill would be a death knell for IEA and it would not be in the interest of the IEA at all. So during 2014, our council discussed all these points and they decided henceforth we should celebrate the Royal Charter Day just only to create awareness among our corporate members, because many of our corporate members still today doesn't know what is Royal Charter and how we are placed, what is the significance of the Royal Charter, and how the members of the Institute of Engineers are getting the recognition under this Royal Charter shelter. So therefore, some of our engineers, though they are also members of the Institute of Engineers, they are also in different professional bodies. For example, a mechanical engineer who is also a member of the Institute of Engineers, having his own Institute of Mechanical Engineers. Similarly, there are Institute of Foundation Engineering, Institute of Production Engineering. Like that, many engineers who are earlier members of the Institute of Engineers, now we have taken a membership in their respective organization also. So those all small organizations are coming towards for urging the Engineers Bill to be enacted in the Parliament. And that is going to affect our recognition as far as the IEA members are concerned. So therefore, we have to be very careful in avoiding such things. And if necessary, we need to consult the legal experts whether any approval from the Parliament is required in the light of the Constitution, because there are some different versions. Some people say once we have become independent, we have our only Constitution and we have our own laws. Why we need to follow the laws and regulations approved by the British people? So there are several questions in this, but unfortunately or fortunately, what has happened in 1959, the first commission which was constituted to understand the legal statutes of Indian law, I have given a report that there is no necessary to seek any approval from the government of India. It is protected under Article 372. It is true, under 372, we are covered. Whatever that was prevailing before the independence has to continue even after independence. But today, because of the so many our own brother engineers pressurizing the government of India to come out with the engineers bill, then if engineers bill is enacted, then I think we will be no more. So therefore, in order to create an awareness among our corporate members, this Charter Day, Royal Charter Day is being celebrated. So therefore, I request even this information has to be made known to every corporate members in your AGM or in any other organizations, in any other meetings where more number of corporate members they assemble. And kindly advise us what need to be done by the Institute of Engineers. Because just now our Chairman Karthikeyan also mentioned that about 4 months back, the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineering Bill was passed in the Assembly. And this is the second bill in the entire country. The first bill was asked, approved in Gujarat State Assembly after the Butch tragedy. Probably many people know, after the Butch tragedy, more than 25,000 people died, more than 1 lakh houses were damaged. At that time, Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat State, and he constituted an inquiry committee, and that inquiry committee gave a report on in construction of those buildings. None of the civil engineers were involved. None of the civil engineers given any certificate for the safety of the building, and there was no consideration of the earthquake force at the time of designing such buildings. That is why so many buildings were damaged, so many people had died. So at that time, this Narendra Modi has suggested why a regulatory authority should not be brought in to control the construction activities. So during that period, so a lot of discussion took place, and the Gujarat government was the first government to come out with a Gujarat Professional Civil Engineering Bill, and that was passed somewhere in 2006. But unfortunately, it is not that much effective, because when once these bills are passed, every civil engineer has to register himself in the council, just like an Indian Medical Council. So after registering Indian Medical Council, only the doctor is allowed to practice. Like that, if all engineers are registered under this council, then only they will be allowed to practice. And every construction activity has to be certified by only civil engineers. And they will be responsible for planning, sanctioning, approving, supervision, and also the quality. So that is the purpose of the Professional Civil Engineering Bill. And now in Karnataka, it has been passed. And in shortly, in another one month's time, the council will come into force, and every civil engineer has to register in that council. Now, the another question is being asked by everybody, because it is okay for professional civil engineers who practice, but the engineers who join the government service, in what way it is going to help? Because the government, the moment they get an appointment in the government, they are bound by all the the guidelines given by the government, and also they are attracted under the CCA rules. If anything is wrong, anything is gone wrong, they will conduct an inquiry. They will keep the engineer under suspension. If necessary, they will also dismiss the engineer from the service. But those engineers need not be, I mean, they ask this question whether we need to register here, because they are not allowed to practice. But if the government takes a decision that civil engineers are also given an opportunity to practice like medical doctors, because in medical also, most of the doctors after registration, even though they join in government service, they are allowed to practice in the evening. If the government also gives such, makes such provision for civil engineers, then I think civil engineers who join the government service also need to register, and they become accountability for any lapses in the construction activity. That is another important aspect. The third important aspect is why this regulatory body is required, because most of the uneducated people, they prepare a plan for 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees. And the contractors, we know very well the labor contractor or a material contractor are not qualified to the extent of knowing civil engineering things. You know, they suggest even a bore bender will become a structural engineer. The earth excavator will become a foundation engineer, because whatever they say, the owner, without even murmuring, without thinking what will be the cost of his structure after completion, because there are no technical qualified people for the assistance. And like that, more than 25% of the total cost of the construction industry, where engineers are not involved, is going to be a waste. And that's how the public also is losing money. So in order to regulate all this and also to help the public, this act is very important. But unfortunately, the same act is not going to help our Institute of Engineers, because the moment the act comes into force, then all engineers will register there, and they will be under the mercy of that. And either two, the chartered engineers have to certify some of the valuation reports. I think you know very well that most of the valuation reports are signed by our chartered engineers, and chartered engineers have got authority to go to the site and also evaluate the conditions and come out with the reports. They submit the report, and the chartered engineer also will make some earnings. But when once all the engineers are going to be registered under this council, and the government will say all those the building construction industry persons should get the certificate from only the registered engineers. So there will be a contradicting views when once this comes into effect. So therefore, somewhere, some of our engineers are pressing why we should not go for Institute of Engineers Act instead of Engineers Bill. This Engineers Bill is not only for civil engineers, it is for civil, mechanical, electrical. All engineers of this country will be covered under Engineers Bill. Whereas this Professional Civil Engineering Bill is exclusively for civil engineers. Whereas our Institute of Engineers Act, if it comes into force, then it is for entire discipline engineering members. So therefore, there is a lot of discussion is required, a lot of thought is to be given. And I request all the corporate members of the Tamil Nadu also just apply their mind and come out with the suggestion and send the suggestion through their council members or state committee to the headquarters, and where our council will also debate on these things, and we will take some final call after discussions. So this is what I wanted to say. And if there is any clarification that is required, I'm sorry. I have some other work at 7 o'clock. So I myself not able to do justice. You know, I went on continuously talking. But anyhow, if there is any question, because our chairman said that there will be 5 to 7 minutes time for a discussion, kindly, if anybody wants any clarification, please do so.
Yeah, you have a wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you very much for in-depth details about the Royal Charter and what is happening in all the regional government about the position of Institution of Engineers. And you have given light on the registration of all the engineers in the forum, various forum, even though the Institution of Engineers is the head of all forums where we are registering ourselves. And one of the things you have compared about the Medical Council of India, that Medical Council of India is conducting some of the examination for requalifying the doctors. But when we acquired the degree or post-graduation or any doctorate, but that degree is stopped and we are not upskilling our qualification or upskilling our knowledges. So that I suggest that now we are concentrating conducting of AME examination or giving degree for AME graduates. And besides that, we can conduct some of the requalifying examinations for the engineers in the various verticals. Maybe it can be conducted through examination, can be conducted through online. And the refreshing courses may be conducted through online or hybrid mode. So which will, the two advantages which will happen. One advantage is we can generate revenue for the Institution of Engineers, as well as we are the right forum to conduct such examination to requalify or certify the engineers in the current scenario. So this is the one of the suggestion I want to give it, because you are the senior member in the Institution of Engineers. and you have a close association with the officials of Institution of Engineers, this point can be raised, or this suggestion may be given to the Institution of Engineers President and SDG. So which will again improve our financial status, as well as we are empowered. We are also empowered to give such kind of certifications, but we have to follow some standards, global standards, before giving such certifications. That is one suggestion. Other suggestions, say, for example, we have an environmental forum, mechanical forum, or production aerospace forum. So green certification, we can give it. The engineers who want to do audit, so green engineers, we can give it. Before that, we have to be enrolled, the Institution of Engineers, in the global forum. So through which we can also conduct some of the examination, conduct courses, and we can give green certification courses, which will enable us, our engineers, to go for green auditing also. These two suggestions, which will improve the financial status, as well as we are in the field right now, only they are not concentrating only on the AME. So these kind of courses will help us, our engineers, to re-qualify, re-certify in the engineering field in the state of art. So this is the suggestion I want to give it. But excellent presentation, I enjoyed really, even though it is a holiday in Tamil Nadu, but you are also busy, you are going for a meeting, another meeting, 7 o'clock. Really enjoyed the presentation, the slides was very, very excellent. I enjoyed very much. Hopefully we have members, more than 30 members here, 33 members, even though holiday all are joined here. So it is very excellent session, even though my staff members also joined here. And thank you very much, sir. Since you are too busy, I can allow only 2 questions. So 2 questions can be asked to the State Center Chairman, Karnataka. Then we'll pass on to the vote of thanks for Honorary Secretary Gogul. Yeah, only 2 questions.
Chairman,
I think Dr. Bhaskaran always asks question.
One more information.
Yes,
all
sir.
your suggestions are well taken. Suggestions are well taken. Kindly send a note, because we have a council meeting Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Probably if you send a note, I myself will raise these issues. Number 1. Number 2, see, we are just awaiting for the outcome of the Delhi High Court decision in regard to AMI case pending. And the moment we get some decision from High Court, I think we will have to take a final decision whether we still pursue this AMI case, or we have to forget the AMI course itself and go for alternatives. Okay. Number 3. And you all know that we have the biggest campus in India, that is in SK Hyderabad, which is about 60 acres of land. The government of Andhra Pradesh granted 70 acres, out of which 10 acres was taken back. But remaining, we have that much, and unfortunately, that was granted in 1861. Till today, the Institute of Engineers did not think of utilizing that property. And we could have built, by this time, so many institutions there. And so many activities should have been taken. If you don't do that, I think the government of Telangana, which worth is about 2,000 crores property, will take away that property. So therefore, we need to plan immediately. And according to the suggestion given by you, there are so many other council members who have got a lot of information with them, a lot of ideas with them. And we have to just call out that information, and we will have 1 or 2 days continuous deliberation, and finally chalk out the program for the next future of our IEI. This is my personal view. So
I will share my inputs through email, sir. Thank you. And I can allow only 2 questions. Sorry for allowing only 2 questions, because we have only shortage of time. And he has to go for a meeting, another meeting. Anyway, thank you very much for coming here on the board for immediately, sir, for my acceptance. Thank you, Mr. Bhaskaran, Dr. Bhaskaran.
Sir, Dr. Bhaskaran, Joint Director, Industries Department, sir, GMDIC. Sir, actually, in Indian Institute of Plant Engineers, they are combined with that Engineering Council of India. So earlier they asked me to be member there also, sir. My question is whether you have given a very good detail about the Engineering Council of India. So future, whether any membership comes, whether I can join or not to join, sir?
Sir, first and foremost, the information now available to me, Engineering Council of India is not a recognized body either from the AICTE or from the HRD Ministry. And it is not a statutory body like Institute of Engineers. See, since we are covered under Royal Charter, we are chartered. I mean, we have some statutes, right? whereas the Engineering Council of India are like some similar associations. Of course, they are some of the members, the corporate members or office bearers in the ECI are quite powerful because they have all worked in the government of India at different levels, and they say that we are going to go get everything for engineers. But even though the Engineering Council of India is there right from 2000, even after 24 years, they are not able to get any engineer bill passed. There is always a clash between the Institute of Engineers and the Engineering Council of India. So
Okay,
therefore, sir, I don't personally say that I don't discourage anybody or encourage anybody to become the members of the Engineering Council of India. But however, our body is 124 years old and recognized all over the world and even in the country. We have overseas chapter also, and we have about 126 centers in India. And we have about more than 2.5 lakhs corporate members and about 7.5 lakhs non-corporate members. So actually our organization is very much old. And any other organization, any forums like the Mechanical Engineers Forum, Electrical Engineers Forum or a Production Forum, they're all recently about 5-10 years back, 20 years back, they have come out. But they've all registered under Societies Act, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank
Yes.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you shared your experience about the civil engineers, and we are doing a lot of consultancy projects, and we are structural engineers for many more buildings. We have a startup in our college also. When we are giving the steel design, and most of the people commenting, sir, you are giving more amount of steel and more weight of steel. The people are telling that the Salem is coming under seismic zone 3. Earlier it is seismic zone less seismic zone prone, but here it is now coming under seismic. 80% of the area covered in Salem and Coimbatore, it is prone to seismic zone. So that is why shear steel is coming heavier also. So these kind of problems we are facing. Anyway, we have to sort it out. That any other questions?
Jaideva Cardiology Institute at Mysore,
Yes.
for which the architect is from Salem only, right?
Yeah. Who is, sir? Who is the architect, sir?
I don't want to mention.
Okay. No issues.
So that project cost was 150 crores, right? And it's about 500 bedded cardiology, exclusively a cardiology hospital, right? The structural person, the designs given by the structural engineer, it's almost, I think, 1.5 to 2 times more than the requirement, right? So I myself, though I'm not a practicing structural engineer, I did my post-graduation in structural engineering only. That's about 48 years back, right? But still, I'm in a position to understand what it is and why you have put so much of steel. And afterwards, I summoned that structural engineer to Mysore and I inquired, what is his qualification? He said that diploma holder. So all architects, try to engage, right, less qualified people for lesser fees. So that is why this Professional Civil Engineering Act is going to help in that regard, because any structural details has to be furnished only by structural engineer. Any foundation SBC has to be given only by foundation engineer. So there will be improvement henceforth. This is what I personally feel, but I do not know how it works.
Yeah.
It has to come into force.
Okay.
Because
anyway,
in the whole of country only. Yeah.
Yeah, one more question we can allow, sir. Anybody else, sir? Any engineers, fellow engineers, please? No question? That's nice. Yes, sir. Please, sir. And thank you very much, sir. Shall we go for vote of thanks, sir? And Mr. Gogul, Engineer Gogul.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please proceed.
Most respected our chairman, sir, and the today guest. I think we are very like Chennai, Bangalore, and then Bombay, Calcutta. Everything is a metropolitan city. And today we got a wonderful guest from our Karnataka State Center chairman. Definitely, and also all our corporate members, fellow engineers, and the students. So it's a good evening to all. So I think Royal Charter Day, which we have to celebrate on September 9th, due to some preoccupancy as well as the Engineers Day celebrations which has happened in our chapter. So today we are celebrating with the eminent personality, our Nagaraj sir from the State Center of Karnataka. Definitely, I think we should thank Engineer M. Nagarajan sir because he has his experience and his wisdom and knowledge is something like we couldn't be able to unimaginable because the contribution what is done to the service is something like very higher. And being a chairman for the Karnataka State Center and bringing up the IEI to the top notch is always a proud moment. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your presence and especially I think the way you narrated the session, putting up all the Judiciary Act as well as how the IEA has grown up and how we are taken up this Royal Chartered with a lot of the court decision. Definitely, I think this would have not been known even to us also. So I think this scheduled session was recorded and definitely the YouTube from the YouTube we are going to load it, and we also will circulate to all our corporate members to see our the Royal Chartered speciality and delivered by to you. So thank you so much, sir, for joining and made this day wonderful. And we learned a lot, especially on the proud moment of our IEA, and we will protect it. We'll assure that we will protect our IEA for celebrating its 200 years also. So thank you so much, sir, for joining it. And I thank our always our dynamic chairman, sir, who always like contributes, and he is the person I think within a one phone call he could able to bring our Karnataka State Chairman, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for giving a welcome address and making this session a wonderful. And also thank our Ishwaran Polaya, sir, who also joined from Karnataka. Definitely from other state center also they have joined and they have been listening the lecture for our state center activity which we have done it. Thank you, sir. I thank all our local centers chairman. We have our Uday Kumar sir is also joined, and all our state committee member, the Loganathan sir, who has given the our introduction part of our session, and all the corporate members, the student members, and the fellow engineers for bringing this day a wonderful. Definitely, this day I think we always have to quote in our life about the IEI, and we need to protect our IEI in all circumstances. So with this note, thank you so much, sir, for making this day wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your presentation is very excellent, sir. I want to thank my teachers also who joined here, who is also corporate members of IEI, Salem Local Center. And thank you very much for joining all those things. And local sectors after Uday Kumar and all the engineers.
Yeah,
thank you.
Kumar,
thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah,
sir. Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening,
We'll
Uday
meet in
Kumar.
Hyderabad, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very excellent presentation, sir. Thank you, sir. We will meet at SK Hyderabad, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you,
Namaste.
sir. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Google. Thank you, all engineers. Thank you, local chapter chairman. Thank you. Saranya.